Well, hello. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. My name is Randy. I am your cruise coach. And today I want to be very specific and I want to be very helpful. I want to give you some helpful tips, tricks, hacks, whatever you want to call them, to save you some time and some money on your next cruise for Royal Caribbean out of the port of Miami. I'm going to be very specific about it. I recently returned from a wonderful cruise on the Wonder of the Seas out of the port of Miami. And so I went through it. I had an amazing time, and there's some things that I learned. There's some things that I experienced that I would love to pass on to you to help you have a smoother transition and have a much more enjoyable vacation the next time you cruise with Royal Caribbean out of the port of Miami. So we're going to take you from the hotel all the way to the ship and the first few moments on the ship. And this is now the second Royal Caribbean cruise that I have been on. So I do feel like I have some experience there. And those of you that are, big time Royal Caribbean cruises and you have some more tips for me, some helpful hints, please, by all means, drop them down in the comments if I forgot anything or if you know how to do it better than what I'm talking about. All of that would be very much appreciated. So I stayed at a Comfort Inn and Suites, which I would recommend. I did a separate video on that on the channel already. With a room tour and my review and my thoughts about it. Overall, I'll give you the cliff notes. It was a very solid hotel. It was very comfortable. It was very clean. And overall, I very much enjoyed it and I would recommend it. One of the things that they offered was a shuttle to the port of Miami. And that is included in your room price. So that is a bonus. And I took advantage of that. Now, would I do it again? And do I recommend it for you? Let me say this. I decided to go on the 9 a.m. shuttle. My game plan was, because I had been hearing horror stories about the traffic, the last mile to the port was taking people, I was told, up to like an hour or more because of traffic due to construction and due to multiple ships in the port. So my game plan was to go early to hopefully avoid a lot of the traffic. My official embarkation time on the Wonder of the Seas was scheduled for 11 a.m. So my plan was I was just going to go early. And if I just needed to wait, I was just going to wait to avoid the traffic. So I got on the shuttle. I scheduled it. I got on the shuttle. The desk attendant told me to be at the shuttle bus for 8:30 a.m., which of course I was there at about 8:25 because I'm old and that's what old men do. Anyway. Got there, 8:25, and we waited a few minutes, and I want to say around 8:45-ish, they lowered us up on the shuttle, and we were all, there was myself and about probably 10 to 12 other people on the shuttle, and we waited. 9 o'clock came. We were all anxiously waiting for the departure, and 9 o'clock came and went. 9:05. At about 9:05, a group of about 3 other people, came into the shuttle. 9:07, 3 or 4 more people. 9:10. So this was a problem for me because I try to be a very punctual person, and knowing what I had heard about the traffic, this became a source of anxiety for me and stress because if I tell you I'm going to leave at 9, we're going to leave at 8:55 or 9. So myself, as well as the other passengers that had gotten there around 8:30, You could tell we were all getting, pretty upset about this. So first big tip I'm going to tell you to save you some time is, if you are, whether it's Comfort Inn Suites or whether it's another hotel, if you are going to go on the shuttle and your objective is to leave at a very specific time, I would probably recommend, if you don't mind spending the extra money, and I'm going to tell you how much it is in just a minute, or how much it was that day, because I priced it. If you don't mind spending the extra money, go ahead and get yourself an Uber or a Lyft, okay? If time is that important to you and you really want to leave at a certain time, then I would recommend going that route, because unfortunately people are late, people are unreliable, and people will throw off the time as far as a shuttle. Now, maybe, for your experience, maybe everyone on your shuttle will be on time or early, and y'all will be able to leave at 9 or earlier, okay? I'm just talking about my experience. I would probably, if doing it again, I would probably spend, I want to say at that time, it was $18 on Lyft. It would have been $18 plus a tip to leave, precisely at 8:45, 9 a.m. I would probably pay that because even though in hindsight it was no problem at all, we were a few minutes late, and I think that did slow us down a little bit in traffic, but it wasn't really that big a deal. But that's just me. I'm just talking about me, okay? So you make your own decision on that. Anyway, let's move on. So the shuttle ride itself was pretty quick at start. I want to say it's only just a few miles to the port, by the way, from the Comfort Inn Suites. So the first couple of miles were very, very, very light traffic, smooth sailing. And then you come up on the last mile and a quarter-ish, and it just got super congested. But again, because I think we left so early, and I think that's a big tip for you, is to go early if you can, we avoided. Our entire wait time was maybe 20 to 25 minutes. We left about 9:15, 9:20, and I believe we arrived at the port around probably maybe 9:45, 9:50 a.m. Okay, as memory serves, about 9:50. So around 10 o'clock, give or take, we were at the port. Got our bags, and off we went toward the terminal. There was a rather large line, and they had the cattle lines out, and they had the various arrival times posted. All of them were full. I got in line about 10:30. Now, what's interesting is I was in line before that. It wasn't 10:30. I got my time messed up. Forgive me. I got in line about 10 o'clock or so, 10 o'clock, 10:05. Anyway, we were in line for about 20, 25 minutes. And then about 10:25, 10:30, they opened the doors. And in we went to the terminal. Away we went. And they let everybody in. They had posted times for after 12:30 arrival, after 1 o'clock arrival, and all those. They just opened up all the little cattle lines and everybody was allowed in. Now, did they screen your times once you were in? I have no idea. All I know is my time to arrive was 11 a.m. and we were allowed into the terminal at around 10:25, 10:30-ish. From there, you go straight in and you go right to the paperwork check, where you're going to need your passport/ID boarding pass, okay? Which was no problem for me. I don't think they needed my ID now that I think about it. I think it was mainly just boarding pass and perhaps your passport if you had it. From there, they brought you into this large waiting area with a bunch of seats, and they had some concession machines there. And so right around 10:35-ish, 10:40, around there, we were all there. And we waited there for about maybe another 10, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And then around 10:45, they opened up the doors to the ship, and off we went. So my tips to you would be, first of all, the biggest tip that I'm going to tell you is fly in the day before. That's one of the biggest tips. I would never recommend flying in the same day as your cruise, because especially now with almost, it seems like every flight is delayed, backed up, so on and so forth. I highly recommend you fly in the day before your cruise and get yourself a hotel. Okay, so get a hotel. Again, shuttle is up to you. And then I would recommend going in early as possible to your port. Then here's where I got to give credit to Royal Caribbean. The entire embarkation process was incredibly fast and efficient. Here's another tip for you that's going to save you some time. The morning of your cruise, go onto the app, the Royal Caribbean app, and watch all the little safety videos and check off all the little boxes about your health check and all that stuff. Do all that the morning of, before you even head to port. Get all that taken care of. Then, once you're allowed in, you can go right to your muster station. They will click your booking pass, and you are done. You are ready to go. And again, I tip my hat, and I want to let Royal Caribbean know I am very impressed with how efficient they are with their muster. The way they handle the muster, and just they were so efficient. Myself, and again, this is for you to save you time and money as well. But I wanted to book 2 more shows. I messed up and missed the actual reservation window for 2 shows. I wanted to reserve the Voices show, and of course, I wanted to book the Intense water show, and I missed those opportunities. So they were, quote, booked up on the app. So I went right as soon as I got on the ship. Before I even went to my muster, I went right to. After, of course, I said hello to a bunch of people and high-five people that I don't even know because I was so excited being on the ship. All right. After all that, I went right to where the reservations were, the show reservations were. I think it was Miss Tess, I think, was the young lady that took care of me. And I went right in, sat down with a gentleman, told him the 2 shows I wanted. He clicked me right in, of course, which made it easier, is that I was a solo cruiser, so I'm sure it was no problem. And then I went right to the muster. I got the muster done. I saw a couple of more friends. So far, I'm here with my friends Austin and Olivia. And we're already checked in. Muster's already done. We're ready for the shows. We're ready to eat some pizza. We're ready to party.
We got a party.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. We're doing it big. Thank y'all. See you around. And I was done. I was ready to just start enjoying my cruise. So there you go, from the hotel to the cruise ship. There are some time-saving and some money-saving tips for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I have a lot more content to come, talking about the Wonder and talking about Royal Caribbean in general. Thank you so much for watching the videos. And understand this. All of my videos are all me. I absolutely do not use any type of AI or any type of computer assistance when I'm making my videos. It's only my content. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, if you enjoy cruising, Royal Caribbean, Disney Cruise Lines, etc., please consider subscribing to my channel. It would mean a lot. It would really help and support me. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one.